Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. This is a non-bingo-y rack, but I think it's too good to change. I can play Diota for 16 points. Yeah, and I don't think there's going to be a way of playing off an extra vowel. Just checking on that in my mind. No, I'm going with this. Well, another 5-vowel rack. So again, no bingo here. There are some 5-vowel 7s and 8s, but not many. And they can be difficult to spot. If I did have a 5-vowel 8, it would be through a floating consonant. Not seeing anything with a D or a T. Now I've got a good scoring tile in the H. So a play of H with 3 vowels would sort the rack out. I could play Hoid in column 4. H-O-I-E-D. That's quite nice, keeping A-E-T. I've got Ohio on my rack, keeping double E-T. Not quite such a good rack leave. There could be an 8 through the right floater. This isn't a terrible set of 5 vowels, but none has come to mind. Double lane in column 5, but through a vowel, so that's not something which is going to help me. Is there a longer word than Hoid through the D? Well, there's iodate, but that doesn't get doubled. And it retains the H, so I'm not scoring well. The H can be a bingo-y tile, but it's not one I would particularly sacrifice points to hang on to. Pretty much none of the scoring tiles are bingo-y apart from the C. Now, opponent taking a while with their opening move. Are they about to bingo? And what if, I was just about to wonder what to do if Hoid was blocked, and it is blocked. So 34 for opponent. Q takes an I, I've got one. U takes an H, but not many IH words. What about coming down? So I can play Who, which sorts out the duplicate O, scores 29 points, offers nothing for opponent. Can't see a way of extending this. Hooey, double O-double-E, not good. So that's 29. What alternatives do I have? Just looking in column 6. Can I get the H tripled in this spot with an I in 4th place? No. What about a play through the D? I could get value from the F. Well, I could play Diota. I think that's good. 17 points, keeping double E-H. Well, I've got a better play through this. I've got Dueth for 23 points, keeping A-E-I. And A-E-I goes well with consonants, and there are 2 floating T's and an H. And the alternative was just H-O, keeping E-T to this rack. I think E-T is pretty killing for this rack leave. The T is good, it's the final E which is bad. I'm going with Dueth. Great, the rack looks a little more balanced. I don't think I've got a bingo through a T. I've got the like ending with G-A-I. I've retained an I for going after the Q and drawn another. Ugh is good. So I've got lig, but it would be good to get rid of the K as well. Tag like is good, but that doesn't reach the second double word square. Oh wow, fantastic bingo by opponent. Gosh, using 3 scoring tiles. Excellent find. So, do I have anything through an S? Don't think so. What about a play down or through the Y getting tripled? No. Any hot spots for the K? Well, there is. Sort of. I can get the K tripled and get value from the Q. 29 points is decent. I'm keeping the board open, which I want to do since I trail. I am going with this. Wow, back to 5 vowels. That's pretty grim. Opponent had only 1 vowel when they played Crow Mills. But just 30 points between us. Opponent on turn. 35 for opponent. That's a good score. So this, wow, only 24 points and a poor rack leave. But it does sort the rack out to some extent. And I think this, oh, keeping double I, that's not better. Ching, How, Su is good. I've got one of the tiles for that. I've got an H for going after this C. Nothing goes after Dueth. I'm not far enough behind to open up triple lanes. I think I will go with Yagi. The vowels will help to get value from the H. And I'm creating new lanes. I'm going with this. Well, possibly good. The Z can be a good scoring tile. And it goes well with vowels. So, do I have anything in column 8? Wow, AW takes an E, but I just can't score with the Z in column 8. I've got Zoes in column 10, but that's keeping double E and double I, so not really very good at all. Through an R, I would have Heroise. I could play HIE in column 8, retaining the Z in the hope of scoring more on a future turn. I've got Zig, but all of these 3-letter Z plays leave me with 4 vowels, which isn't good. There's still a ton of vowels to come. Not seeing anything in row F, getting the Z tripled. So at the moment, the best I've seen is High, which sorts out the duplicates and plays off the H and doesn't provide much for opponents. And I pretty much am guaranteed at least 30 points from the Z because of the triple letter squares which are available around the board. So retaining the Z is not problematic. It's just not a bingo-y tile. Still all 4 S's to come and 1 blank. Quite a few bingo lanes on the board, including rows G and I, plus Diota takes an S. Now, am I missing a big Z spot? Oh, an opponent plays in precisely the spot I had intended to play and without any alternative play in mind. So it goes. I'm really reluctant to play a short Z play. Now, do I have any Z something C something plays? No. I have Co's, but that doesn't really sort the rack out. It just plays one more tile. So, tricky stuff. 14 minutes on my clock. Okay, so what about this? Size for 32 points, not providing anything massive for opponent. Playing off one more vowel than a three-letter play, getting over 30 points. Yeah, I'm going with this. An opponent may be tempted to play across from the Z, in which case there will be opportunities for scoring. Now, I've drawn 3 scoring tiles, very non-bingo-y. I've still got the H for CH, but that's not in a great spot to score well off. Zybeth is good. 40 points. Opponent changes. Interesting. So, well, is there a play across from the E? Well, let me just consider IE. Do I have a 9-letter play? No, and surely there is no bingo here of any length, 7, 8 or 9. Okay, so I have Zybeth. Let me just see what that scores. 40 points. I could stop it 1 square short, but that's 8 fewer points, and Zybeth takes an S as well as an H with 4 in the open, so I don't think it's great to retain the H. H not massively useful for bingos, and hard to place a big tile on this double letter square, but not impossible. G hue could come down, for example. But the alternative to that would be a play in row O. But I'm not seeing one. And one nice thing about Zybeth is that I'm playing off 2 out of the 3 big tiles I've got. Alas, not the worst, the V. And by worst, I mean least bingo-y. But the score is good. This is 2/3 of a bingo, and I'm going with it. Horrendous? Absolutely horrendous. U-U-V. Maybe this is some of the junk that opponent chucked back, and I'm back to 5 vowels. So, what to do? Dead level, but I feel at a major disadvantage. How well did opponent draw after changing 6 tiles? And should I be changing? So I don't have to play off the V, but I'm looking to play off at least 2 of UUV. So I have Avour, A-V-O-U-R-E, which is quite nice. Keeps IU, but it's better than changing. I don't have that play anywhere else. So what else is on offer? Wow, very little. So I could be changing here. Can I play through the H? Oh, interesting. 27 for opponent. They nearly had the tiles for G hue, so they must have dodged all of these E's. J takes an O. I don't have any 6-letter plays ending O or A. So, Avour for 20. Well, slightly more bingo-y. But is there one here? I trail by 7. Gosh, if my S were an E and there are tons of them to come, I would have volumize. I've got the ism ending with soul. There could be a low probability bingo here. It's not coming to mind. Let me consider the floaters. There's the D of wind. Julosis, but that doesn't use the M. What other floaters are there? Just the V, I think, which isn't good. Oh, and the H. I've got the ish ending. Okay, great. Only 20 points for opponent. This is good news. I think solidums is good. So if I hadn't played, well, if this H and T weren't there, I may have a 9-timer triple, but they are there. Let me just see what Miss Sold scores. 30 points. How useful are the S's? They has interrupted the Diota spot. So the S not massively useful, and still 2 to come. Now, HM is good. So I could play some. Oh wow, 48 points. Good grief, that's nice. And this is the last U, so that's not going to get doubled. I'm retaining an S. Column 14 is an S lane, is a lane for bingos ending S. Can I begin under the B? So I could play Sim as well. 2 I's, 2 O's to come. I think I is slightly more bingo-y. No, I can't begin under the B, but I am going with Som. Great. Finally, this is looking close to a bingo, but is there one here? Is unsolid good? It might be. And I lead by 21 points. Unsolid. Fortunately, this is void challenge, so if it's not good, I don't lose a turn. But it could be blocked. At the moment, it plays in columns 12 and 14. And I don't feel great about it. So let me consider the floaters. There's a V. No. There's an A. No. Okay, wow. 36 points for opponent. They retake the lead. 10 minutes on my clock. Let me see if unsolid stays on. And it does. Unbelievable. Wow, I was really unsure about that. Fantastic. Now, I have a lead. Quite unexpected. 19 tiles to come, including 2 S's, the blank, and an X. Opponent's just played off 5 tiles. This is a non-bingo-y rack, but it's a balanced rack, and I've got scoring tiles, so I should be looking to get 30-odd points with the B and the Y. Wow, I have Grebo in row 8, which is nice, because I'm turning over 6 tiles with the blank unplayed. Still an I and an N, so I could be opening up an ING lane. But that's a nice option. I was just wondering about Bog Eye, but I think that's a hope too far. Possibly Bug Eye and Bug-Eyed. Great, just 18 for opponent. And they're blocking a lane. 15 tiles to come. This is what I'm thinking of. Grebo 39 points, and I'm retaining a good scoring tile in the Y. Plus denying opponent this spot And opponents played off one of the ends available for an ING play. I'm going with this. Oh, and I dodged the blank. The remaining pool super bingo-y, but I lead by 90. 70. But look at this, I've got the X. Can I score well with that? And I've got a decent set of vowels going into the end game. Only 4 vowels to come. Opponent could be sitting there with only 1 vowel. What have they just done? They played neat. They played off 2 vowels, so they probably do have at least an E on their rack. But I may be able to hang on here given my lead and the fact that I've got Y and X. If opponent bingos, they will be leaving 2 tiles in the bag. Now, Diota takes an S. It's not really available in last place, except with 2 overlaps, but it could be in the middle of a word. So what can I do with my X on the board as it stands? Not a huge amount. And if I want to play off the Y as well, then I'm looking at X, which keeps duplicate A. I'm not seeing anywhere great for X. Next, not good. EST is good. XI is good. Quaff takes an S. And I've got one. But I can't really see a play there. 14 points for opponent, which is good. 7 tiles in the bag. And look at this, they play off another vowel, so there's only double EI left. I inferred that opponent retained 1 E. But well, are they struggling with vowels? Would they have played off the A if they didn't have 2? And surely they'd have turned over more tiles if they didn't have the blank. Interesting. So, what to do? I lead by 63 points. How dangerous is ING? It's quite dangerous. Ooh, opponent could have a play beginning with V. But they could also have duplicate R, duplicate T. I'm wondering if I've got a play through this E. Well, what about this? 27 points is decent given the size of the lead I'm defending. 63 points before this play. 8 minutes on my clock. 64 points. 91 points after I's. Nothing goes in front of it. If opponent is forced into a column 2 bingo, that scores far less than a column 1 bingo. And they'll be providing access in column 1 for me to cash in my X. That sounds like a magnificent plan. Can I improve on it? This E is on the triple letter square. I'd like to put my Y there, but YAE doesn't take an S. Yeah, I like this play. I'm going with it. Great, this looks a pretty balanced rack. 4 tiles left. If opponent doesn't bingo through this E, I could just play X and X, extinguishing the danger. But let's see what the situation is after opponent plays. There are only 4 tiles left. Okay, wow, opponent shutting the board down. Nothing goes in front of C. I wonder if they feared that I had the blank. So 2 tiles left. I lead by 83 points. 7 minutes on my clock, which is a very nice sight. So my options are to play off just one tile, so that there's one in the bag. If opponent bingos, I get to play again for 20 or 30 points. Or I can do this, scoring 23 points. Ooh, I was going to say extinguishing row A, which is the hottest bingo lane in terms of score. But I'm creating a new one in column 10, but that would be face value. The remaining tiles are either worth 0 or 1 point, so the maximum opponent can score in column 10 is going to be about 60 points. 340, and they'll only get 6 on count back, so I'm drawn towards this play. Yeah, surely. Well, let me check my lead again. 69 plus 14, 83. I'll lead by 106. Opponent's not going to catch me. But I think they will be bingoing to end the game. I lead by 106. Opponent will get 10 on count back, so opponent needs 96 to draw, 97 to win. That's not going to happen. So what can opponent do with this R? Interesting. Well, is retirals good? Or retrials is. So I have gifted opponent a bingo. But just a random act of munificence on my part. What if opponent misses that? Am I going out? Well, I feel I should, but I'm not expecting opponent to miss it. I think they're a very high standard opponent, a rating of 1830. And yeah, they played Crow Mills, so they do go out with relists. And the final score, 361 for opponent, 392 for me, a winning margin of 31 points. So a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a fantastic match. Let me just reply. So it was me to go first, and I played Diota. That looks fine. Ooted was the other alternative I was considering. Now, very clunky rack for opponent, but always good to see the blank. Quaff for 34 deals with the Drek. Now I have a series of vowel heavy racks. I thought about who. Didn't really like the vowel situation, so went with Dueth for 6 fewer points, but AEI has a positive valuation of +2 under Macondo, which is the latest valuation system. It used to be valued at -7. It's just a dramatic change in valuation, given that there's no reason for that change other than better measurement. So it's astonishing that a rack leaf can change in value by so much, but it has, and it means I'm far more comfortable with retaining AEI as a rack leaf. Now, opponent's rack looks non-bingo, but look at this. A few options available: Crow Mills, Cremoli, and Claymore, and Normalcy. So more bingos than you would perhaps expect at first sight. No bingo for me. 8K. Oh, Kylie through the Y, leaving AGI. I think I would have played that if I'd seen it. I go with Carly for 29, keeping a slightly better rack leave, but for 7 fewer points. Opponent plays Wind. I'm still struggling with vowels, but I get 24 for Yagi. WHI. Gi, A8. Interesting. Probably Gi worth doing. Let me just compare these rack leaves. So a 13-point difference in score. Interesting. WHI is going to be negative, maybe -5. But AII probably worth between -10 and -15. Okay, so yeah, I think perhaps a 10-point difference in Rackley valuation, but a 13-point difference in score. If those moves taking into account score and Rackley are within 5 of each other, I prefer the play with the better Rackley, and I think that is, well, it's double EHI, so I'm happy with my play. Now, opponent struggling with clunky consonants. Scores 24, could have scored 42, but I think they would have had an I on this Rackley, which is just awful. F and V together are pretty horrific. Now, my rack, oh wow, K4. Oh, toes. I didn't consider that. That would have been nice. Shay, also playable. Well, the Z would then be available for a triple word play. Ooze, L6. Okay, that's quite nice. Yeah, that's similar to size. Slightly worse Rackley, but harder for opponents to get value from the Z, but easier to access a triple word square, so I'm happy with my play. Fantastic, what a magnificent and beautiful sight. Opponent with 7 consonants, no vowels, no blanks. So what do they do? Is this where they change 6? Yes, it is. It says 1 here, but in game time it shows the actual number, and it was 6. But they could have played flown through this. Oh, yeah, 21 points. I think that would have been worth doing. Now, my rack, and I play Zybeth for 40, which I like. Gosh, opponent did just lack an E for G hue. But they could have played I13. Jaunted, getting the J double. That would have been a big score. I played Jug. Now I have this horror show. But Avour gets me out of jail. 8 points less than these higher up plays, but they keep UUV, and I much prefer IU. Plus, I'm taking out a couple of bingo-y floaters. Opponent plays Fund. And I have Som for 48, which I like. Opponent plays Pawned. Now, I trail by 15. But here we go. Unsolid is good. Wow. I don't know what I would have played if it wasn't. I was only looking for bingos at the time I played it. Opponent's rack. No bingo. They play Neat. So when they played Neat, they did have another E. I have Grebo for 39. And now, look at this. I guess it was Unsolid which gave me the lead, but I do have a bingo's lead. Opponent does not have the blank. They play Cage. So they play off A, G, keeping Clept. Interesting. Now, J1, XZs for 46 points. Wow. Sticking an E in column 1. But retaining the Y for score, that's nice. Yexes for 35. Oh, interesting. I play I's in this spot. Well, I was going to say I could have played X's, but of course X's takes front hook, so I do like my play. It's only these top 2 which score more, and both of those provide access to triple word squares, and I felt fairly confident that I could outrun opponent if they had a non-triple word square bingo. Now, opponent's rack looks close to a bingo, and they do not have the blank with 4 tiles in the bag, and they play Sap. Interesting. Now, my rack. What do? I play Varix for 23, just killing the highest scoring bingo lane, and I think opponent would probably have had a bingo beginning with V, would they? Well, it's not coming to mind, but if that was my rack, I would certainly have spent a while looking for one. And finally, A9, Atelia's playable for 76. but that wouldn't have been enough. So opponent bingo's out with relists. And the final score is a victory to me of 30 points. But what a game. I was absolutely resigned to losing that. Not in the sense that I was so discouraged as to make suboptimal plays. It just felt, with the way that the early racks were going and opponent's bingo of Crow Mills, that it just wasn't going to be my game. But, you know, you stick to the process, and it's astonishing if you just focus on the rack at hand and just make the best play, regardless of whether you're winning or losing, unless you need to take that into account. It's amazing how fortunes can change, and certainly they did change in this game, and I was fairly comfortable entering the final couple of moves. So many thanks to opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game. Like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time.